はい、司会進行の方は、変わりまして、ここからは、私、平良木が担当させていただきます。よろしくお願いいたします。さて、次のゲームは、ソニック・ザ・ヘッジホッグ2006、カテゴリーシャドウストーリーノー MSG となっております。こちらのカテゴリーは、ミッションセレクトのグリッチが禁止されているものとなっており、他のグリッチは使用可能なものですね。はい、ありがとうございます。おはようございます。こちらのタイトルは現在解説の方が、いらっしゃいませんので、解説の方を募集しております。ソニック・ザ・ヘッジホーク2006をやったことがあるという方、ぜひ来ていただければなと思います。また、チャット欄の方での解説だったり、補足だったり、そういったものも、随時募集しております。よろしくお願いいたします。
We have $5 from CPZ Gamer. Says, gotta donate for the double record of my buddy Argix run. Put half towards Human Revolution for the Deus Ex run.
そうですね。日本では、ソニック・ザ・ヘッジホッグっていうとそのままキャラクターの名前になってしまいますので、新ソニーと呼ばれている作品になりますかね。
Back-to-back world records and the most energetic speedrunner I've seen at a GDQ. Sign me up. Donation to the Hades run. And I want to say thank you everybody for showing up to try to unlock that bonus game early right off the rip.
それでですね、今回のタイトルの方はビットローの方設定されておりまして、どちらも、目標金額があるものだったんですけれども、どちらも達成されております。
Saving lives and helping prevent cancer. Thank you so much. And on that note, we have Keys Ron. He's going to be doing an interview with a member of the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
一つ目は、グリッチの発表会みたいなものですね。ソニック・ザ・ヘッジホッグ2006の実行後にグリッチを行うというものです。また、ラウンドハウスキックのカットシーンというものがあります。ちょっとこれ直訳なので合ってるかわからないんですが、リネズミが他のハリネズミが頭を蹴るのを見ることがあるか、お待たせしましたということらしいですが、よくわからない。ハリネズミがハリネズミの頭を蹴るものが見れるらしいです。
But just gonna ask you a few questions that involve your work with PCF. Just a pretty basic rundown of everything, just so everyone at home can kind of understand what kind of work goes into this, what qualified individuals are a part of it, etc., etc. So on that topic, tell me a little bit about your cancer prevention work.
Well, I'm very grateful to the Prevent Cancer Foundation for making this kind of work possible. I just want to get that right out there. The kind of work that I do as an oncologist working in global public health, or what some people call global oncology, is to help people and also sometimes the governments to address their growing burden of cancer. And
じゃあ、私もせっかくなのでここで AGDQ2021 の方の、イベント概要の方を説明させていただきたいと思います。現在、ジャパニーズリストリームでは、海外オンライン RTA イベントの Awesome Games Done Quick 2021、略して AGDQ2021 の様子を公認で日本語ミラー配信しています。Awesome Games Done Quick 2021とはゲームズダーンクイックのチャンネルで行われるオンラインチャリティーイベントです。ゲームのやり込み要素と一つであるリアルタイムアタック、通称 RTA を視聴していただくことで寄付を募っています。今回集まった寄付金はプリベントキャンサーファウンデーションに全額寄付されます。プリベントキャンサーファウンデーションは米国に本拠を置く慈善団体で、がんの早期発見と予防に力を注いでいる米国有数の医療機関の一つです。画面上では PCF というふうに略されていますかね。
So the
寄付と関連
resources
し
that
て
we
特定
need
のゲームに
are
は
actually
高難易度への変
not
更
that
やエンディン
vast,
グ
but
の
they can
選
go a
択等が
long
予定
way
さ
to
れており、
save lives,
各項
especially
目
for
前に
women
設
at
定
the
され
time
た
of
目
their
標
life.
寄
They're
付金
young
額を
women.
達
They're
成した
caring
際
for
に行われ
families.
ま
They're
す。
going to maybe
ま
they're in
た、金
graduate
額
school. Maybe they're trying to
金額
just
を
get by
寄
and
付
live
金
their
額を表に見
lives.
立てた
And
ビット
boom,
によっ
they
て
get
キ
cervical
ャラク
cancer
ター
and
名
they
や
can't
選
get
択肢など
screened
が決
for
定
it.
されるこ
They
とも
can't
あり
get
ます。
treatment
寄
and
付
they
額に
die.
対する報酬
Now
は
that's
ビ
kind
ッ
of a
ト
good
の
little
URL
segue
が
to the
ご
next
確認い
question
た
I
だ
had.
け
I was going
ま
to
す。
ask to describe the community and the
ま
individuals
たこの
that
寄
you
付
reach out to.
はカードに
But
よって
it
できない
sounds
こ
like
ともあるの
that's
で
already
す
been
が、
answered.
逆に言え
But
ばカードによってできることもあるという
how's
こと
the
ですの
impact
で、
in
ぜひ一度
general,
チャレン
like
ジして
just
いただ
here
け
at
ればな
home?
と
Because
いう
I
ふうに
know a
思い
lot of
ます。
times, like you
なお、
said,
寄
like
付
this
には
is
際には
outside of
コ
the
メントつけ
country.
ることがで
But
きますの
I'm
で、
really quite curious to
そちら
know
の方
just
も
how much of an
考え
impact
ていただければい
your
いかな
research
というふう
has
にも
for
思い
within
ま
the
す。
country and also how much
ジ
within
ャ
our
パニーズ
country
リ
is
ストリーム
affected
で
in the
はこ
same
のような
manner.
海外のスピードランイベントも
That's a
今
great
後も未来
question.
配信
And
す
the
る予
truth
定
is,
で
in
す。
every
Twitter や
country,
Twitch の
including
フォロ
the
ーも
United
よろし
States,
くお願いい
the
たし
women
ます。
most at risk of dying of cervical
AGDQ
cancer are the
2021
ones,
の
the
イ
same
ベント概要
situation.
でした。
They're marginalized populations. They're women of color, poor women, indigenous women, and women living with HIV. HIV is a major factor in cervical cancer mortality in all countries. So this kind of research that we do to help improve access to services for cancer screening, in my case, and my colleagues, Karen Yates is my co-partner in crime, and Zach Emma is our IT developer who's based in Tanzania. So I know you computer fans, you folks out there who play video games, probably be interested to know that we use mobile phones as part of our research tools. And I'm happy to talk about that. But that's equally applicable in the US as it is in Tanzania.
I'm actually, yeah, that wasn't even a planned question, but now I'm actually curious. You did pick my interest. So, like, how do you utilize mobile devices for stuff like that? Like, how does that contribute to your research?
So we have what we call a multifunction mobile platform called CVI for Smartphone Enhanced Visual Assessment.
Okay.
The visual part is literally eyeballs need to be on a woman's cervix. A healthcare provider needs to look and see what they need to see. And the way that the screening is done, which we don't need to get into here, can be enhanced by the camera on a regular Android phone, right? And the digital image can be sent to an off-site reviewer to help train the nurse usually or midwives to be able to do high quality cervical screening and decide whether she and the cervix they're looking at is appropriate for treatment right then and there, which can be provided even in rural areas. So it's a very cool thing that we can do with simple smartphone tools. And the other piece, the piece that's being funded by the Prevent Cancer Foundation, for which we're so grateful, is actually a semi-automated SMS or either texting or voice message that can be sent to providers and also to patients to return for care. So we call that patient navigation. And that's extremely important to make sure women get the care they need. And also, we call it demand generation to get the health promotion message out there. Turn around the phone or a tablet and you've got a video message by women in their own community who've been screened. So peer-to-peer education as well. Amazing, simple, and effective.
That's actually, yeah, exactly what you said. That's actually incredible. That's amazing. I didn't realize just how much technology could really improve something like this. So what, I know that you're newer to the GDQ scene, but we were kind of talking about this before the interview started about how it's basically like a modern day telethon that raises money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So what does this support from AGDQ mean to you specifically working with PCF?
Oh, it's incredible. I cannot even tell you the AGDQ family, as I understand it to be, this kind of effort to raise money for the kind of work that my colleagues and I do through Prevent Cancer Foundation is enormously important. We really can't do it without the help and commitment to cancer prevention from folks like yourself. I know you have your own personal story, and from people out there who are gaming away and trying to raise money. It's just enormously helpful and important and critical, really.
And is there any parting words that you'd like to impart on us, either behalf of your colleagues or just about the AGDQ community in general?
I just say keep it up. You're doing incredible work. This is something that you may not realize how much it means for the researchers like myself to receive a grant because of your good work and because of the Prevent Cancer Foundation. And imagine the impact all the way in East Africa, a woman in a small community who has access to cancer prevention for cervical cancer, lives saved because of this effort you're doing today. Thank you so much for this.
Well, thank you for taking the time out of your day to go through all this Zoom nonsense to get this interview going and whatnot. I really appreciate that. Once again, everyone, this was Dr. Ginsburg, and I was Steven. And I hope you all have a fun rest of your day with the marathon, and stay tuned for more.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much, Steven.
Thank you.
はい、というわけでプリベントキャンサーファウンデーションの方へのインタビューでした。ここの待機時が抜けるといよいよ、ソニック・ザ・ヘッジホッグ2006となります。ソニック・ザ・ヘッジホッグ2006、こちらのタイトルは操作キャラクター、メインの操作キャラクターとして、ソニック、シャドウ、シルバーのがいるのですけれども、今回はシャドウのストーリーということになります。
$20.06 for Sonic 2006. Hype. Thank you so much. Now, everyone, we've got the last run.
メジャーなグリッチを使わないというだけで、壁抜けとかは、かなり行われる、ものになっております。結構破壊されてしまうタイプのゲームですね。その辺もお楽しみいただければと思います。はい、ありがとうございます。街の NPC でちょっと悪いことをすると、箱丸で限定でエンディングに飛べちゃうバグですとのことで、エンディングに飛べちゃうのは大変まずいですね。大変まずいですよ。
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Gordon Ramsay, and my favorite story in Sonic 06 is Boss Attack Shadow, followed closely by Team Attack Amigo. Unfortunately, the DLC was too powerful to be accepted into the event, so we're stuck running Shadow no MSG. 2 quick notes: MSG stands for Mission Select Glitch. It's a credit swap, but skipping 06, this beautiful package, would be kind of lame. So.
Yeah. まあ、いろいろあるということで、イベントなので、ね、チラ見せでした。
Hi everybody, we're having some issues getting the run set up, so while we wait for them to
待機画面に返されたということは、我々はまた待機していればいいということなのでね。
With a $10 donation, and it says simply chance. Hades, Hades, Hades. Thank you so much. Let's see where we're at with that right now. We're currently at $26,000. 218 cents out of 75. My goodness, you really want to see Hades, everybody, don't you? I don't blame you. That game is phenomenal. Thank you, everybody. There is another bid war, or I'm sorry, a stretch goal that I don't want anybody to sleep on. It is for Ultima 6 coming up later today, and it is for killing Lord British. Now, it's a bit of a tradition in these Ultimate games to try to find Lord Garriott, Richard Garriott, the creator of the Ultima series, in game and kill him. Currently, we're sitting at $2,632 out of $3,000. With just a little bit of a push, we can definitely make that happen, no problem. Man, was anybody else there during the Ultima Online beta when like a guy actually like murdered Lord British live, like making him stand in fire? That was a pretty intense time. Wild times back in the day of the beta. Let me tell you. Thank you, everybody. Let's keep it going. We have Enomoto-san with a $300 donation. Comment reads, kicking off 2021 with GDQ is awesome. Thanks to all runners and organization for putting up the show. Well, thank you for your generosity. And we also have a $20 donation that is anonymous. It says this has been a thrilling Sonic block and it's not even over. Congratulations to Flying Fox and Zaxxon for those stunning world records, and to Argue for keeping the enthusiasm going all throughout his fantastic run of Sonic Mania. This has been a wonderful start to 2021. And we're going to be capping it off with quite a momentous Shadow run, so don't worry. We have just a little bit more Sonic goodness for all of y'all. We've also got $150 from Max saying, first time I've caught AGDQ live, so had to donate, especially the 2020's best game as an incentive. Indeed. Thank you so much. Oh, we have a very sweet $250 donation from the McMaisters. The comment reads, I love you. Yes, you, reading this comment. I love you and everyone who works so hard to make this happen, from production staff to runners to donators. Art. And thank you, Miss McMaisters. We collectively love you as well.
そうですね、今画面に出ている、炎上のグラフだったり、するものあるかと思いますが、そちらの方は、ビットのもを示しております。その下がものは、そうですね、じゃあグッズになります。こちらのグッズは寄付した、人に抽選でもらえるものなんですけれども、日本はどうだったかな、法律とかで非常に厳しかった気がしますね。そうです、一定金額以上寄付したらもらえるもので。私たちは、日本人は、ちょっと法律の関係でプライズマンの見せてくれるプライズにいいなって言って終わってしまうわけでございます。
Just want to remind everybody about one of our fantastic sponsors, Fangamer, the esteemed video game merch company featuring new AGDQ merchandise available now, including event badges, a limited edition pin, a desk mat, a mug, socks, and more. 100% of profits from GDQ merch sales supports PCF, so check them out at www.fangamer.gdq.
そうですね、寄付次第は、寄付自体は、自分の手持ちのクレジットカード次第で、できたりできなかったりしますので、要確認という形です。また、カードの方大丈夫でも、キャッシュ、そのパソコンの方に、ね、キャッシュが残ってるとうまくできなかったりすることもあるので、その辺も確認していただければなというふうに思います。はい、ありがとうございます。今貼られたイエティだったり、あるいはファンゲーマーというサイトだったりでは、買ったものは日本にも届きますし、チャリティーにも貢献できます。ぜひご検討ください。T シャツだったり、他にもウォーターボトルとかピンズとか、いろいろありますね。
It warms my heart to see everybody in this community come together to do something fantastic for the fight against it. This event is one of those wonderful, special, unique things that make so many people's lives better. Much love to everyone at GDQ. And much hope for those affected by cancer.
ペイパルで寄付ができたかちょっとわからないんですけれども、ペイパルで、買い物、そのイエティでの購入だったりはできますので、ちょっと、見ていただけるといいかなというふうに思います。送料と納期に関しては、まあ海を越えていますのでしょうがない部分はありますね。逆に今 T シャツ買う分には何といっても半袖ですので、ちょうど夏に着れるんじゃないかなというふうに思います。
We have $50. Yeah, $50 donated by Medic. They said had to get a donation in towards the Hades incentive. The Hades
そうですね、サイズがちょっと、アメリカンサイズというかそんな感じなので、ゆったり着たい人は現在着ている服のサイズと同じでもいいかなという感じですし、そうではなくちょっと2人目に着たいなという人は1個ちっちゃくするのがいいかなというふうに思います。私もそうしました。ファンゲーマーの方のグッズは、現在もうちょっと売り切れの方出たりし始めていますので、なるべく早めに、ご検討始めていただけるといいかなというふうに思います。グッズもいろいろあって目移りしちゃうかなという気もしますが、
While I miss the crowds, I get to watch so much more of this live while working from home. Put this towards the Hades run.
そうですね。ファンゲーマーの方は今貼られたページになります。ご検討ください。
And now, everyone, once again, please get hyped for the upcoming excellence of Gordon Ramsay in his Shadow NMG run, Sonic 06.
All right. Awesome. Okay, chat. Well, we're back to it. Sonic 06, it
今度こ
likes to
そ
crash
どうだろう。
everything
い
it
け
comes
る
in
かな
contact with. Yeah, so anyways, we're back to it. We're recovering well. I'm not sure how far into my spiel I got, so let me cut it short. Basically, no MSG. It's a credit. MSG is a credit swap. We're not going to do that. Second thing, I chose the name because it's easy clout. Some of you are only here because you saw Gordon Ramsay was running. Sorry at this point, but hopefully I can live up to your expectations. And to help me do so, I'm joined on the couch by the Soliana Boys, featuring the world record holder of Sonic Story, Nick867.
Hello, I'm Nick. I'm a Sonic fiend, but today we're
私
focusing on
はソ
Shadow.
ニック・ザ・ヘッジホ
Shadow
ッグ
is
シ
a
リーズですね。
fantastic
あまり
category,
詳しくはあ
especially
りま
after
せん
the
の
whole
で、
year of 2020. 2020 has
解
been a
説の
great year
方
for
が、
Sonic 06, and Shadow has
こ
seen
の、
quite the brunt of it.
ボイスチャットの
Major
方に
tricks
も、
have been
あるいは
developed in this
チャット欄の
category,
方にも、
mainly
来て
thanks
く
to
ださると
Gordon,
嬉しいんで
and
すけれど
this
も、
is going to
も
be
ち
a
ろん無理は言い
fantastic
ません
run,
のでね、
and you'll enjoy it for sure.
The world record holder of Silver
皆さ
Story,
んと
Focus
楽
on.
しんでいければ
Hello
な
everyone,
と思
I'm
います
Focus. You might recognize me from HDQ 2020 where I ran Silver's Story, and as we mentioned before, 2020 has been characteristically great for Sonic 06. We have basically had new world records across the board. The oldest world record before 2020 was 5 years old, now it's 3 months old. So it's quite incredible what we've gotten up to as a community, and Gordon has been a fantastic part, an excellent glitch hunter. I'm very excited to see what he's going to show off here in breaking Shadow's Story to the ground.
And the world record holder of Shadow Story Town Mission 2, Triple Agent / Liam.
Hey man, okay, I had the Shadow Story record like 4 years ago, okay? That counts for something, right?
The future is now, old man.
Anyway, yeah, like the previous two commentators have said, Gordon's a fantastic runner. We've broken this story completely, and I'm super excited that he got the chance to show off Shadow No MSG finally on the GDQ stage. Myself, I got to show off Sonic Story in Summer Games Done Quick 2016, and so we get to complete the trilogy now. Enjoy.
And one last quick thing before we get to Countdown. There's a lot to go over in the beginning and not a ton of time to do it, so I'm going to be talking kind of fast for the first stage or two, but I promise we'll slow things down after. Not trying to speed run the commentary. All right, let's have Countdown and get to it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, first things first. You may have heard Cyberpunk 2006, Sonic 06 described as a buggy, glitchy mess, and you're absolutely correct. Casually, this game is pretty bad, but as a speedrun, it's amazing. I mean, think about it. If the game's already half broken, just imagine what we
こ
can
ち
do
らの
when
作
we
品は
actually try.
2006年
And Shadow
12
shows
月
that off
21日
really,
に
really well.
プレイステー
He
ション
doesn't
3
have any
Xbox で
individually
制作マ
busted
リオソフ
aspects,
トと
but
し
he
て、
uses a lot of things to
ソニ
break
ック
the
チー
game.
ム
So
が
I
制
say
作、
yes.
セガより
Fancy
発売され
movement.
たアクション
The
ゲー
peasants
ム
would
と
go
なって
around
お
us
り
half
ま
pipe,
す。
but we
ソニック生誕
are just
15
gonna
周
line
年
ourselves
作
up.
品ですね
And。trying to get a trip animation here. There we
メ
go.
ガドライブで発売された初代
This is
と
a
は
bit of
同
a
じ
recurring
タイト
theme
ル
in
で世
Sonic
界観も
06.
基本
If you
的
have
に
enough
は同
speed
一
and the
なん
right
です
angle,
けれど
you
も、
can get
全
through
く
anything
別
you
の
want.
作品と
Walls, doors,
なっ
ceilings,
てお
even
り
hill
ま
planes.
す。
So coming up here, I'm going to do a little trick
悪
called
い
a
こ
pause
と
clip.
は
Right
す
up
る
against
タイ
this
トル
door. If I
となっ
jump and
てお
pause
り
on the
ま
same
す。
frame, like
そう
so,
ですね。
if I don't hold a direction when I unpause,
こんな
Shadow
感じで
cancels
ね、
his homing
壁
attack
は
off the ground
抜
and
けれ
keeps
る
his
壁
speed.
は
And
抜
it
ける。
turns out that homing attacks go really, really fast. So if you have the right angle and do a pause clip, you can phase through whatever you want. There's a little combat room back there. Sometimes a bunch of enemies spawn. One gets assigned as the leader. Take down the leader, they all die. Up here, we're going to be playing as Rouge. If you've experienced this game casually, you may remember it's kind of hard to get Rouge off of walls. In a speed run,
でですね、
it's
この
not
ゲ
much
ー
better.
ム、
So we're going to use fancy movement to do
や
something
っ
a
た
little
方
bit
が残念
different.
なところとし
Instead
て
of getting off the
挙
wall,
げていることが多いのが、
we're
ロー
going
ド
phase
が
on
長い
through.
という点です
That's
ね。
called Rouge
この
clip.
ように
Now,
ステージ
worth
間のロ
mentioning
ード
the
が
easier
結
trick
構
looks in Sonic 06, the
あ
harder
る
it
の
is.
が、
And
課題と
vice
して挙げられ
versa.
ていたりしま
Except for
す。
this one coming up here.
まあ、それが
Maybe. See,
RTA にどの
there's
程度影
checkpoint,
響
but
す
I'm
る
going
か
to
という
skip
のは
it
ちょっ
for
と
two reasons. Reason
わ
number
から
one,
ない
I'm
の
a
ですけれど
speedrunner.
も、
I would never
ま
die
あ
or
シ
fail
ナ
a
リオを
trick.
読むわけでは
Please
ない
don't
の
check
で、
my
そ
VODs.
こ
Reason
まで
number
影
two,
響
I'm
し
going to
な
leave
い
to
のかな。
focus site.
Yes, so Gordon over here needs to destroy these 5 searchlights in White
解
Acropolis to finish the
説
stage.
できそうな
Now,
ゲーム
that
がある
spawns in
の
a
で、
result screen,
という場合
obviously,
は、
and the result screen acts like a respawn
現
would.
在でジャパニ
So
ーズ
the
リストリー
issue
ム見てい
is
た
that
だ
Gordon
け
has
てるか
swapped
と思うんで
characters,
す
and
が、
that's
そ
pretty
こ
cool
をスク
because
ロー
you
ル
use
し
to
た
play
に
as
行く
Shadow
と、
now in Shadow
申
Story.
し込みフォームある
The
かと
thing
思い
is,
ま
though,
す
the
ので、ご
checkpoint
確認いただ
corrects
ければと
for
思い
this
ま
error
す。
that happens when you load the result screen. essentially at this point, the game is like, I don't know who you're playing as, so I'll just let you play on the results screen. This is results breakout. Also, hello text box, hello results screen. Goodbye text box, goodbye results screen. This is known as results skip. Essentially, that text box there, or any text box, hits the same flag as, say, the results screen ending animation and saves 7 seconds RTA. Pretty cool trick, and all thanks to Gordon.
Yeah, so playing on the results screen has a lot of jank. One aspect of that is, if you pick up a ring, you get to carry every single ring you had into the next fight, which is incredibly useful for this boss, Exurb. I won't go into all the details of why Exurb sucks, but the basic idea is he has a bunch of patterns he can go into at the beginning, and not all of them actually let me start the fight, only a few let me get on his tail. This was one of the bad ones. Whenever he dashes off, he can dash between 1 and 3 times. We got pretty lucky there, he only did it once. Just because I get to the tail, I'm not guaranteed to get on it. Just because I get on the tail, I'm not guaranteed to get on the back, not guaranteed to get on the horn. Any one of those parts can randomly fail, or I can take damage. If I take damage with no ring, it's game over. Is Surf gonna be kind? Maybe. We might be able to punch it. Oh, there we go. Let's go. Nice. In Sonic Story, the fight would be finished here. Would you like to explain that, Nick?
Yeah, so in Sonic's story, Cerberus, he has statues on each side that deal 2 hits, and he also has a much easier time getting on his rails. As you saw earlier, sometimes when Shadow homing attacks the rails, he'll go into his homing attack recovery animation instead of landing on the rail. Sonic never has that issue. So in Sonic's story, you can easily beat him in under 30 seconds consistently, while in Shadow, you are forced to do 4 hits, and you struggle to beat Cerberus in even under a minute.
解説の方も気軽で積極的なチャレンジの方、
this is a pretty decent time. 111, not too bad, not too bad. Now, a fun fact about this fight, the very first thing that Cerberus's code does is check the arena for snow. If it finds snow, you're fighting Shadow's boss. If it finds none, well, you're fighting Sonic's. Literally, the only thing distinguishing these two is some check that's like, hey, is there snow anywhere around here? Yeah, Sonic 06 it's a gem, honestly. Now, we've got some hub world movement coming up here, so let me just talk Shadow, let me just talk 06. See, every single character in Sonic 06 got some gimmick or some aspect of them that was completely broken. Sonic has gems and bounce bracelet and spin dash. Silver has psychokinesis, so he can throw himself across the stage on objects or pick up enemies. Shadow has vehicles and was designed for combat. Because this is a speedrun, we're going to skip most of the combat, which means Shadow has probably the blandest kit on the surface, but he can use what he has in some very, very interesting ways. For example, his homing attack goes about twice as far as Sonic's. The optimal movement is RSI, I mean spamming the homing attack button. If I'm on the ground and moving, I can also press X to do a spin kick like that. Spin kick keeps my momentum and gives me some invincibility. And Shadow has access to one more trick that Unleashed in Generations runners might know, called M-Speed. So here's a little lesson in how Sonic 06 handles speed. There is no speed cap in this game. However, depending on what state you're in, the game will enforce a maximum cap. So for example, if Shadow's running, he can only move at 15 meters per second. That's very, very slow. A homing attack goes about 3 times as fast.
そうですね、今、シャドウでやってる、プレイしている理由を言ってくれているみたいなんですが、私、英語が不得意ですので、内容については、ちょっと解説することができません。申し訳ありません。
That's very, very useful. We'll use it for some sick tricks. Remember, if you have enough speed in 06, geometry becomes way more of a suggestion than a rule. Alright, about to load up Kingdom Valley, go through that warp hole, and onto the stage. So, like I said, another one of Shadow's gimmicks is his vehicles. He has 4 in total. We saw the first one, the buggy back in White Acropolis. This is the second, the hang glider. We'll see the hang glider 3 times total. It's probably the least interesting one, honestly. It's basically a glorified auto-scroller. So this is playing itself. I can move up, down, left, and right. But the main thing here, if I double tap and hold A, I'll do a boost and travel at 3 times the speed. Normally this section takes like 40 seconds to complete. By boosting, it only takes about 14. Generally a good time for donations though. Very nice, very fast. Now in section 2, I have 2 options. I can either play as the developers clearly intended and phase through a wall and finish it as Shadow, or I can do some fancy movement as Rouge. Last time our fancy movement was clipping through a door. This time, it's going to be something a little more aerial.
Yeah, just a quick note. I don't think that the developers intended for you to face to the wall, so I think you may have gotten a little backwards there.
現在
But
操
anyway,
作キャラ
so
クター
what
が
Gordon's
変
going to go
わ
for
っ
now is a
た
trick
で
called
す
the
が、
moon jump.
こ
This
ち
trick
ら
is really
ア
difficult.
ミー
It's
ゴキャ
framed
ラクター
perfect
と
and
い
there's
う
no clear
システ
visual
ムにな
cue,
って
so we
お
don't
り
tend to
ま
go
す。
for it in
別の
runs,
キャ
but
ラクタ
Gordon's
ー
going to
が
go for it to
操
try to
作で
show
き
it
る
off
というもの
for
で
the
す
people.
ね。ルージェ
Basically,
ザ
the way that the gliding
パッ
works.
ド
Oh, nice, he got it.
というキャラク
The
タ
way that
ー
the
を
gliding
現在
works in
操
this
作
game,
しており
instead
ま
of
す。
just lowering the gravity when you hit the glide button,
シ
which
ャ
is
ドウ
what you
ザ
would expect it
シャ
to be
ドウの
programmed
ストー
as,
リーで
the
は、
game actually applies an
もう1
upward
キャラクター
force
操
to
作
you
するこ
equal
と
to the
に
gravity,
な
so it
るよ
counteracts
う
the
です。
gravity. However, when you let go of A, a frame before you touch the ground, you don't have any gravity, but you still have that upward force, which can shoot us up into the air and skip the whole section.
Yeah, so Shadow's story, it's changed a lot in 2020. Before 2020, it was mostly just movement heavy. We had some tricks like pause clips, but for the most part, you didn't do too much that's flashy, you just kind of played stages well. We've managed to break almost every single aspect of the category since then, but Kingdom Valley Section 3 is one exception. This stage is almost entirely unchanged from how it was like 5 or 6 years ago, with the exception of one trick we call Fancy Clip. This
そうで
was
すね。
found in 2020 by
後に
Triple
オメ
Agent.
ガというキャラ
It
クタ
was
ーが
made to.
出てきて、
Yeah.
そちらのキャラク
It's
タ
the
ーの
Mission 2 World
操
Record
作
holder.
す
So
るこ
I
と
want
に
to
な
line
りま
myself
す。
up here.
現在はまた操作キャラクターがシ
And I
ャドウ
want to
に
do a
戻
pause
っ
clip to get through the castle.
て
That skips a very long set of
いま
stairs.
す
We have
が、
to take
今
another
壁
one
抜
there,
け
but
しま
it's
したね。
significantly shorter, much more lenient. Those stairs collapse as you go up them, so there are a lot of things that can go wrong. You can have so much speed that you just phase through them, or maybe you trip on them and fall to your death. A lot of fun things. Managing to skip stairs is very, very useful. Let's see if I'm high enough. I'm going to give this one more try. That's the right spot. Couldn't make it. So if I elevate myself using that pot properly, I can skip some combat. Saves a little bit of time, but that's okay. Now, if I don't hold a direction here, I'm actually not going to hit that dash pad. And then I can skip some very lengthy automation by just using Shadow's completely broken homing tech to skip on through. Now, Sonic 06, it really likes to revel in spectacle. So up here, we're going to hit a dash pad, and some fun things are going to happen. By that I mean Shadow is going to take off at Mach speeds, use spin kicks to keep my momentum, and jump around that castle to skip some combat. Now, it's worth mentioning, light dashing is like the second fastest form of movement in the game, behind Mach speed Sonic. Light dashing is nowhere near as fast as that dash pad. It's so absolutely insane, and I love it. Also, side note about dash pads, they add on to your current speed rather than giving you a set one. So if I could do like a pause clip into that dash pad, the speed I would get would be absolutely insane. Now take a hit there to try and avoid an S rank. We're almost at the end of the stage. Pause clip on through. And Survey says,
ポー
do
ズ
we
画面
avoid it? It's
を
going to be a
開い
bit
て
tight.
何か位置を調整して壁抜けしてるっていう感じなんですかね。これが全編にわたって使用されます。
He got 50,000 exactly. What?
So, why is avoiding an S rank important in Sonic 06, in at least no MSG? Well, essentially, they have these gold medals over here in Sonic 06. These act like the emblems do in SA1 or SA2 if you're familiar with the adventure games. Getting an S rank adds a 5.5 second additional animation that is unskippable. But if you can avoid an S rank in less than 5.5 seconds, you save time RTA, which is pretty cool.
We're
Unfortunately,
very, very close there.
that is the best moment in an all gold medals run and the worst moment in an OMSG run.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so coming up here, we have another stage, Crisis City. This is where Sonic Team said, that tornado's carrying a... Sorry, wrong story. This is the stage where Sonic Team said, I paid for the physics engine, so I'm going to use the full physics engine, and I absolutely love it. So the IL, or individual level for this stage, is like a minute faster than the best times you're going to see in runs, because it does two very stupid tricks that involve exploiting the physics engine. Nobody should go for them. So naturally, we're going to do both of them. But first, we have to clear through the buggy. Now, vehicles in 06 get flagged for being hard to control and whatnot, which is absolutely fair. Like a lot of things in this game, they have a lot of consistent rules, and once you learn them, they're not too bad, but the game never really explains them. For example, if I go over a jump, I want to make sure that my front or back tires hit first. That way I avoid spinning out. And if I'm exiting a half pipe like this, I want to build up an insane amount of speed so that I can fly. Oh, there we go. Right to the rail. Perfect. Now, there's something special about that buggy in the
こちらのゲームの現在の奏者さんはゴールデン・ランゼイ氏となっておりまして、現在のシャドウストーリーの MSG の世界一位の方となっております。
which I like to call small little presents for playing the worst version of the game. One of those presents is effectively the fact the buggy, for whatever reason on PS3, is lighter, meaning that because it is lighter, you're able to launch from that half pipe all the way to the end of the stage in one motion.
Yeah, the PS3 version, we do separate the board, so if you have that, don't worry, you're not technically running the worst version of 06. You have your own category to compete in. Everything you see me do in this version on the 360 will apply to PS3. PS3 just gets a few little gems like that of its own. If you ever get the chance, experience the PS3 buggy. It's so very, very good. Alright, now the first of those two tricks I mentioned is coming up here. I don't want to give it away, but I will say, this trick is called the lamb sauce. I didn't name it. Somebody in the community, Yale, said, "Hey Gordon, call the next trick you find lamb sauce." And then, well, I found this. So first I need to angle Shadow very slightly to the right here, then hold forward, and if I did that just right, this automated section should break. There we go. Now I just need to select my champion. Let's see, this one looks good. And Breath of the Wild. Perfect.
Yes.
Let's go.
Beautiful. Nice.
And I won't take the ladders, I'll spare
岩
your
で
hearts.
飛んでいくのが正常な挙動なのか
So we've
私
got
には
some
判別
donations
しか
coming
ね
up in
ますね
Section 3, but real quick, Sonic 06 uses a little physics engine called Havoc. You might know it from Breath of the Wild. It is my favorite engine in video games. It's so very, very good. Alright, Section 3 comes up here. We've got another hang glider. We can probably fit in a donation.
Sounds great. We have a $20.06 donation from Labris. They say, I joined the 06 speedrunning community and started running the category as my first in July, before the story absolutely exploded. I had to catch up with all this new stuff coming in through the latter half of 2020. Cancer shouldn't have to be a fight on such a large scale, so here's to this drop in what might become larger and larger bucket. To Liam, thanks for making me a VTuber with this donation. And to Gordon, may the loads be ever in your favor.
We love you, Labris. We love you.
Yeah.
Yes.
This
we do
dude
love
is
Lab.
making a thing for us to remove the load times and timing. He is the best.
Yeah, because Sonic 06 has variable load times. These are on the slower end. The fast ones are actually not too bad. But yeah, it's really annoying for speedrunning. Anyways, coming up in Section 4, we have another one of those rock launches, but this one is a little more difficult, but high reward. See, I have to break the rock myself. Previously, they spawned in the air. I didn't get jump, but this might still work. Not quite. I'm gonna give this one more attempt. We'll see if we
多
get
分
it.
正
If
常
I
な
get this,
挙
we
動
skip
で
the
は
entire stage. So
ないです
it's
ね
very much
こういう岩
worthwhile.
に乗っ
Ooh, that
て
one is in a very bad spot. But
どっ
that's
かへ
okay
吹っ
because
飛んで
we
いくの
have
は、
backups.
他のタイトルで
Yeah,
も
we
まあ
have
まああ
backups
る
to
こ
the
とだ
awful
と
strats
思
in
う
this stage. It's pretty darn nice. So
まあ
that's
こ
what we
ちら
call
のタイトルで
Section
は
4
正常な
or
挙動で
Shower
は
Rock
な
on
いか
by
な
Focus Site. Oh, darn it. Okay. Homing attacks are hard, guys, okay? It's very, very difficult. So, you know, we'll call that divine intervention. Let's break this rock one more time. See what fate has in store for us. Oh, this is looking
正
good.
常な挙動だったら多分
Ooh,
やり直す必要はないと思う
Maybe.
Let's go. Had to
We
do
got
the
it.
gamer lane.
Yo,
Sorry about
he
that.
got it.
yeah.
We're
He
back
had, to
to
land,
it.
he had to land
Let's go.
perfectly on that rail. He had no homing attack there. That was
And that
ridiculous.
saved 20 seconds.
Yeah.
20, 25 seconds.
Those rock launches are absolutely insane. You can get one to send you all the way over to where I am right now on the second set of rails. That saves like 40. The rock launches in this stage are so, so good. They can take a bad run to an acceptable run, they can take a good run to a great run, or they can take a great run to an awful run because you missed the rock launch and just lost PB pace. Now, we love the rocks in Crisis City. They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
You love the
Alright.
rocks in Crisis City.
I do. I don't know if anyone else does, but I do like them. So, for reference, we got a 338 here. The absolute best times you'll see with normal strats are something like maybe sub 4 minutes. I don't know if that's ever been hit in a run or at least a PB normally. But yeah, so that was 28 seconds faster. It's very, very nice. Crisis City is a stage that absolutely got destroyed in 2020. Flame Core Section 1, on the other hand, which we're about to load in, not so much.
Ooh. Big 2014 moment right here.
Indeed.
This is one of the stages, much like Kingdom Valley Section 3, where it has resisted every single attempt for us to break it further and further. Don't worry, Flame Core Section 1, your time will come. We will find a glitch with you, but for now, we're gonna go through automation the only way we know how, which is not. At the very start of Flame Core Section 1 here, Gordon is going to go over to the right because they didn't put an invisible wall there and skip all these loops. Essentially, Section 1, again, it is essentially the base movement you got here. Lots of homing attacks and a lot of well-timed hits. You may notice that there's a jump panel over to our right. Yeah, no, Shadow's homing attack is long enough. And one other important thing about Sonic 06 that I'd like to bring up is that it does have certain points where it spawns in enemies or other objects. So if you avoid those points, that means they won't actually spawn. So Gordon had to go back there in order to get the enemies to spawn to unlock that cage. Now we've gotten the action gauge completely full, we can use our favorite power-up, say it with me all the rest of the couch, Red Shadow.
Red Shadow. Red Shadow.
Let's go.
So now we're utilizing one of the upgrades we bought at the shop earlier in the run called Chaos Boost. As you can see right here, this upgrade allows Shadow to teleport to enemies and phase through walls to its target right after charging a Chaos Snap. To charge a snap, you just hold A while you homing attack, and as you can see, this allows us to skip some combat, which adds up to saving a great amount of time. However, you'll see the combat uses an emission near the end of the run. Here, at this section, we have to avoid these meteors falling from the sky, which us 06ers like to call Cocoa Puffs, because they really do look like that cereal. You get hit over these gaps, you have a very slim chance of recovering because there aren't very many paths that you can take to recover. And at this last gap, if you get hit here, you just die and lose about 1.5 minutes if you didn't get that last checkpoint.
Yeah. Section 1's kind of stressful. And again, it's just a lot of really clean movement. We do have one glitch, but it's basically Taz levels to pull off and doesn't save that much time. Section 2, on the other hand, this section is absolutely amazing. I don't want to spoil it. Just sit back, relax, and let me show you the true power of Chaos Control. Brought to you by Bad Hedgehog game from 2006.
Wait a second, there's no Chaos Control in this game.
There is now, boy.
リングがあるうちはミスにならない。
Very nice.
仕様を
Some of you in chat might be thinking, huh?
それを利用した
So that is a trick that was theorized as early as 2012, and Gordon here made it viable in 2020. We call it Chaos Control, but it actually uses Chaos Snap, we mentioned earlier. Chaos Snap does not know where to put you if you home in on anything with multiple homing attack beacons, for instance, a rail or a loop. So it just sends you to the origin of the stage, which is the coordinate 000, of course. At that point, there's actually a checkpoint that's really close by, so if we orientate ourselves in the right direction, hit a death plane, we fling our corpse into the checkpoint, our corpse is still active, meaning we hit the checkpoint, we reload there immediately and save 10 seconds RTA. Also, GoldenEye 006, forgot to mention that. All this is happening.
Yeah, don't worry about all that Rouge movement, you know, going up to the top of the stage, flying through walls, over all of the out-of-bounds stuff, playing on the results screen, that's all intended. That stuff... There's too many glitches in this game. We can't keep up with it with the commentary. Just don't worry about that. However, this next stage, this is what was hyped up in the interview. This is Iblis Phase 2. So I have a bit of a story to talk about in Iblis Phase 2. So originally, what we were planning on doing was to have some donation time in this boss fight, because it's a lot of downtime, and then Gordon was going to go for this ridiculous 7-second fast final hit variation at the end. If he had missed it, we'd have to redo the whole boss fight over again. We on the couch didn't want him to go for it. It's very much not consistent. Don't let him fool you. He's going to tell you it's consistent. It's not.
I promise.
However, instead, Gordon found this. Now, this was found 3 weeks ago. It is the largest single time save ever found in Shadow Story. 1 minute. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Iblis despawn.
Let's see, so 45.3. All right, two things to go over here. The first, there are no kill planes in this arena. However, if I fall too long, in this case 21.5 seconds, I will hit a failsafe that will instantly kill me, because the game doesn't want anything to get below there. So what I'm going to do is stop myself in the air with a Chaos Spear just before I hit that. So, okay, I'm going to let myself lower down during this camera pan. Okay. I don't want to go any lower. At least for
please
the sake
don't
of
go
couch.
any lower.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
Oh man.
Every time you see the camera pan,
2、3週間前に見つかった。
at some point, about 126, 127, he's going to take an
今
action
それを
where
行っ
he
てい
dives
ると、
underneath the
こ
lava,
の
becomes intangible, meaning we can't
暗闇
interact
の
with
空
him.
間でシャドウ
And
が
for some reason, the game just
何
moves
か
him
してい
below
るわけ。
us. You normally can't see him, you can't do anything with him there, but the game just said, yeah, okay, we're going to move Iblis here. And it turns out, it's really, really useful if you can get a boss to go wherever you want. Remember how I said the game doesn't want anything to go below that failsafe? Well, in just a second, there we go, we can see a bit of Iblis. Iblis will pop up. Now, the next time he tries to take an action, he's so far out of bounds that the game doesn't know what to do, so it deletes his boss data, and then the game says, well, the boss no longer exists. And I guess that means you killed it, and takes us right to the results screen.
Fantastic work, Gordon.
Beautiful.
Absolutely
Great job
incredible.
at that. Wow.
Yeah, I would like to say here, Sonic 06, we give it a lot of crap for being buggy and glitchy, but
ボス戦は、
honestly, I just want to
終わっ
highlight
たみたいですね。
how solidly programmed this game is,
戦
and
った
that
か
it
どうか
will
は、
not crash. We deleted a
ちょっと
boss.
わかりま
And the
せん
game
けれ
said,
ど、
okay,
終わ
no,
った
you're
こ
fine.
とは
We're
終わ
just
った
going to
の
take you to the
で、
results screen. We can
シ
get
ャド
away
ウは
with so much
倒
in
し
this
たんで
game
しょうね。
because it won't crash. You gotta love consistency. Speaking of consistency, let's go back to our old favorite, back to the bat.
Great. So now we're going to load up
なる
into
ほど。
Tropical Jungle.
データが
So
ボスを
every
削除してく
story
れる
has
の
a
で、
stage where the
その
amigo
ボスを
plays.
削
In
除
Shadow's
したとい
story,
うの
we
が
have
倒
Tropical
した
Jungle
という
Rouge.
判定に
Now
なる。
earlier in Kingdom Valley, we explained that there was the trick called the moon
なる
jump,
ほど。
where we frame perfectly release the glide button and we get shot up into the air. We're going to try to do that again. So at the
シ
end
ャ
of
ドウ
Tropical
とデ
Jungle,
ータは
we have the goal ring and
仲良
it's
しなん
surrounded
で
by a
すね。
cage of lasers on all sides, except the top side, because the devs didn't think that you could be able to get high enough to fly over the lasers. Unfortunately, with the moon jump, or fortunately for us, we can. Let's see if he gets it here. There are backups to this if you miss it, so it is not that big of a deal.
Right, Mom?
Yep. Again, frame perfect trick at 60 FPS, and it is there is no good visual cue for that because it depends on your angle. Also, there's this trick we call a quick climb. When Rouge flies into the corner of a pillar, she will try to grab and hold on to each side of the like both the left and the right corner, and yeah, instead of holding onto either one of the sides, you will just zip right up. Now he's going to go for a quick climb at the back end of these lasers, and yep, easy skip. Now there's also a third way to skip the lasers in this cage, and that was found by accident by Darkspine Sonic, the progenitor of the entirety of the 06 speedrun. And so the way that this happened was he was at the ending of Tropical
これ
Jungle
も
Rouge.
ダメー
He
ジ受
went
け
to
と
go
敵
eat
時
dinner
間
or
で
something, came back
ご
15
利用したの。
minutes later, and the lasers had actually moved. So it turns out that these
壁抜け
lasers
と、
move ever so
ダメー
slightly
ジの無敵時
enough so
間
that
と、
after 15 minutes of waiting, you can
な
actually
んか
just
いろい
clip
ろ
through
み
the
たいな
lasers, but not
感じ
before,
ですか。
only after. So yes,
基本的
that
に
is
は
the
そ
third
の
way.
2つで
And remember,
ス
we
テージを
separate the
進んでい
boards
く
between
感じ
360 and PS3.
なのかな。
360 is the main version. If any of you want a really good world record, just play PS3, get to the lasers, and go make dinner or something. When you get back, you should still be on pace. Alright, now coming up here, we've got Mephiles Phase 1, Part 1. I wonder if we'll see him again. The goal of this fight is simple. I need to fill up my action gauge in the bottom right-hand corner by taking down these little minigoons. He'll periodically spawn circles of them. Do I get friends? No. Sometimes they can latch onto you. Anyways, once my gauge is full, I can force Mephiles out of my shadow. You can see him down there. If I see him slide into my DMs like he did here, then that means I'm on good pace. I get a few more goons in each circle, and we should be good with the next one. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, perfect. So I just want to do one more Cyclone Kick and activate Chaos Boost. Sorry, Red Shadow. There we go. Now, he's invincible right here. He's going to choose a random spot. That's pretty close. Speed him up a bit. He goes somewhere else. And somewhere else again.
シャドウの
Camera's
よう
kind
な
of fun. Camera's kind of fun. And boss
何
dead.
かかな。
Ike. There's Mephiles Phase 1, Part 2. Now, this is where the fight gets fun. See, this fight is heavily RNG. For reference, the world record for this fight is something like 1 minute and 8 seconds. Here's why. Every time I hit Mephiles, he's going to
これ
choose
で
one
す
of
ね。
7
これが、
locations to go to. That includes
ア
wherever
ミー
he's
ゴキャラクター
currently
がまた
standing.
他に
If he
に
stands
も
in place,
1
I
キャラ
save
クターい
some
ますよ
time
と
because
言
he
ってい
just
た
doesn't
オ
move.
メガになります
Oh, like
ね
that. And I also save time because for
Tough.
whatever reason, when he stays in place, these shots hit him multiple times. So you can deal an insane amount of damage if he just doesn't move. The IL record for this fight, individual level, had it happen how many times, Focus?
It happened a total of 8 times. So for reference, because it can appear in any of these 7 positions, an equal amount of chance. That is a 1 in 5.7 million chance, and it was gotten in the middle of a run by Turbo, the former world record holder of Shadow's story.
Yeah, that's the kind of luck you would only see in a dream. Smile. Alright, so that's Mephiles. He's out of the way. We definitely won't see him again. Absolutely would not be the final boss. Wouldn't it be crazy if the Phase 1 fight had a Phase 2? Absolutely will not. Anyways, let me keep you up to date on the story. So, Shadow was flung into the future after Kingdom Valley, so Crisis City, Flame Core, Iblis, that was all in the future. Rouge went back to the present for Tropical Jungle. Shadow fought Mephiles in the future along with Omega, and now they're going back to the present or something. I don't know. Sonic 06 technically has a story, but it's kind of convoluted. It's a bit like, what, Swiss cheese? Yeah, something like that. Anyways, the game's telling me to meet up with Rouge, but that's a cutscene, and cutscene means load arrows, and I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to do a pause clip to save about a minute. We've got just a bit of hub world movement here, so we can probably fit in a donation or two.
Hey, fantastic. We have a donation from Tempest Mask 1000 for Focus.
先ほどの、シャドウと同じ姿をした何者かは、最序盤シャドウが仕事で闇の帳を探していった時にそこから出てきた、シャドウの姿を真似た存在とのことで、なおこのメフィレスというのが、今回のラスボスにあたる存在になりますね。そんなこと言ってたら壁抜けですね。
I don't know, possibly, did we? Thank you so much.
Possibly. That pause clip's kind of hard. Background is mostly just non-solid, so I have to jump immediately. We can probably fit in another donation or two.
All right, sounds good. We have $250 from Matt McMuscles. He says, Sonic 06 hype. It's no use! What happened with that donation? Thank you so much.
Sonic 06 tends to break the English language, I find.
一体どういう街なのかわからん。
Speaking of breaking things, we have Radical Train. So the goal of Radical Train is simple. Eggman's on train, Shadow's trying to stop it to get information, and the way you're supposed to play this stage is by putting up laser gates, speeding up Eggman's train, it'll go to another checkpoint, you'll do the same thing all over again. That's slow, that's painful, that's boring. Now, if I just ignore my objective, after about 55 seconds, the game will automatically take a life for me, respawn me at a checkpoint. That just means there are 55 seconds in which I can completely ignore my objective and try to book it to the end. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I went for a little loop skip there. If I'd hit that dash pad I tried to homing attack just right, I would have skipped the loop entirely, but it's a bit finicky. We locked onto the train. This is conveyor skip. You jump off a guardrail, you homing attack up to a bot, and you make it to safety. Alright, we should be on pace. Few seconds left, but we're almost at the very end. Activate Chaos Boost here. And as a quick note, it was mentioned that we can snap through stuff like spring boxes. That's actually intentional. Sonic 06 received DLC, and it is good. I'm not just saying that as a speedrunner. It's pretty good, but one of the things you have to do in Shadow's DLC is clip through boxes and laser gates using Chaos Snap. It's really, really cool that such a jank mechanic got adopted officially. Sort of. And speaking of jank, the way you're supposed to do this is hop on the third of Shadow's vehicles and gun down Eggman's train as it runs away, but that's kind of difficult. That's kind of hard. Motorcycle's hard to control. So I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. This is a bit finicky, but hopefully we'll have success. I need to get the front tire of my bike to hit the back of this jump pad. That's okay, that's okay.
No?
We're starting to give this one more attempt. And if I do it just right, we're going to see something really magical.
やり直したってことは多分悪いことをしますっていう意味
No,
で
they
すよ
have jank, honestly. They are kind of buggy.
悪いことに失敗したのかな
Actually, I think that's the least jank one. But we just let ourselves off. Ah, dang it. Is this going to work? I really want to show this off. We have one more attempt. One more. There we go.
Finally,
oh, this is a good idea. This will
Ah.
probably let me live, right?
Hopefully.
There is track.
There is
says,
track.
You got it. You got it.
No, there's a kill plane there.
Oh no.
Oh, absolutely
wow, that kill
scammed.
plane.
Scammed live on stage. All
で
right,
も
so
最終的
the way
には
that works,
着地に
if the
失
front
敗し
tire
ちゃ
of
っ
the
たの
bike
が
hits the back of the jump pad, for some reason it just sends you into the air. If that had worked
Ah,
correctly,
もう
we
一
would
回や
have
らず
flown
に
in the right direction to completely skip the trigger to
進んでいった。
start this train. But since that didn't happen, we're just going to play it normally. I'm just going to boost on up here, try to shoot down the front of the train. If we wanted to be really risky, we could fly off into the void and try to hit the front there, but the angle's kind of weird, so... we'll just
あ
play
ー
it
ジャ
from
ン
here.
プパネルの多重仕様で、
Hopefully.
すごい
Yeah,
高く
hitting
飛
this
ぶこ
train
と
is
がで
really
きる
annoying because
そういうこと
you
なのか
can't
な
just hit
あり
the
がとう
front
ご
of
ざい
it.
ます
You have to hit it on the side. Is the game going to cooperate? That is the...
I'm scared.
I love Sonic 06.
Oh my gosh.
I love Sonic 06.
And
All
this
right,
is why
everything...
this is Radical Run Killer.
This
Yeah.
is Radical Run Killer. Everything else actually went quite well here, so we have time to do this. I think setting up another moon jump is just the safest course of action at this point.
あれ、
So,
もう一回やるんですか？
we'll try that again. We can read donations until my sins are atoned for.
All right, sounds good. We have X coming in with a $10 donation. They say, can't believe we got the real Gordon Ramsay to speedrun the
普通に死
2006
んだし、
Sonic
も
the
う一回くらい
Hedgehog
や
game.
るか
That's
って感じで
incredible.
今やってたのか
Thank
な。
you.
Get it? I believe.
Come on. Gordon? Gordon,
This
no.
stage is great.
The stage is very
good.
generous. I should talk
It
a little
is.
bit about Radical Train, though. Even though this is showing truly what Radical Train is, the opposite
寝
of
ま
its
す
name.
ね、これは。
Radical Train in
ちょ
all
っと
three stories is kind of funny because it has
沼
almost
っ
no
ぽい
purpose in
な。
any of
普
them,
通
and
に
the
抜け
consistency between them, Gordon's
やれ
favorite
るカー
word,
ド。
doesn't exist. So in Sonic's story, you're supposed to save a train, then chase a train which has a princess in it. In Shadow's story, you beat up a train, then you beat up a train as bike.
There we go.
As for Silver's story, do you want to mention what we do there,
大丈
Gordon?
夫です。
Yeah, so in Silver's story, you jump on a shovel and you throw yourself to the end of the stage. There are no trains involved. Well, shovel train if you want to count that.
I suppose.
But yeah, Radical Train, it's a very fun stage. Now, speaking of Silver, we're going to load this
も
fight
しか
up.
したら
You
今
may
後
remember it
あ
casually
の
because,
ジャン
haha,
プファン
it's
に
no
の多重視
use.
をでギュイーンと飛んでい
It
く
is no
技で
use, but this time
も
for
っと
Silver.
短縮できる
See,
の
every
かも
time
し
we
れ
have
な
to
い
fight Silver in a
し、あるい
speedrun,
はイベント
we
のため
soft
にやって
block
くれ
him.
た
Well,
の
we
か
don't
もし
soft
れな
block
い
him,
で
we
す
stun
ね。
lock him. Bit of a lengthy load, but once this spawns up, we're just gonna beat up Silver through a train. And I believe the incentive for the kick cutscene was met. Is that right?
It was indeed. Let's see some chaos
Awesome.
control.
Let's do it. Alright, so Silver is on the other side of the train. The way this works, every time a homing attack
白い
lands,
の
I
が、
can press the A
今
button to do
回
these
の
punches
キャラ
and
クター
kicks
だと
called
シルバー
gas
で
attacks.
すね。
They function kind of like a second homing attack, so they look for a new
ソニ
target.
ックと
So my initial homing attack
シャドウ
targets
と
the
シ
train,
ル
the
バー
chaos
の、
attack, then targets Silver.
3キャラクタ
And every single
ー
one
が、
I use
メイン
locks
ス
in
トー
on
リ
it. So
ーをそれぞれ持
we
って
just
い
kind of beat him in
ます。
17 seconds. It's wonderful.
今回の
Now
レ
let's
ギュレー
see
シ
how
ョ
to
ンで
avoid
は
the
シ
S
ャドウ
rank
のスト
because
ーリ
we
ーを
cannot dodge it in bosses.
進め
Most
てい
stages
っ
we
てお
can
り
avoid
ま
the S rank in. Sadly not the bosses. Get through 2 gold medals, and well, I'll just let the cutscene speak for itself. We're in for a cinematic masterpiece, some would say. Speaking of
This makes me
cinematic
cry every time.
masterpieces,
Oh, Gordon.
Oh no.
This is why the load screens in 06 are pretty cool, everyone, because you could do gags
奏
like
者
this.
奏者さんが何かお出ししてきましたね。
Oh man.
Goodbye 2020.
そうですね、実写映画の
Truly.
And
ポ
then
ス
Gordon
タ
has
ー
enough time
出
to
て
put
き
the
ました
poster
ね、今。
away, get
わ
back
ず
in
か
the
な時
seat,
間を
put his
使っ
headphones
て。
back on, hold the controller again, and there we go.
No,
Yeah.
I don't want to hold the controller.
Yeah, we
Gotcha.
love the load screens.
Connect
Anyway,
time.
so now we're in Aquatic Base. This is one of the most broken stages across all 3
さ
stories
て
in this
次
game.
のステージに来
Normally,
ま
you're
したが、
supposed
もう
to
開
do
始
a
早
bunch
々
of
に壁
combat
抜きを
at
使っ
Shadow,
ているの
switch
で、
to Silver, and then do
わけわから
like
なくなって
2 more
ました
minutes of
ね。
combat. Then finally switch back to Shadow and
シルバードヘ
finally
ッジ
finish
ホ
the
ッグは
stage.
超能力
Instead,
主
we're
体
just gonna
戦う
clip
ハリネズ
through
ミ
a
という情
couple
報をいた
walls
だ
and
きま
finish
し
the section
た。
in
ありがとうご
under
ざいま
20
す。シル
seconds,
バー
in
の、
what would
ストーリー
normally
は、
take about
他のソ
maybe
ニックシャドウ
5
に比べ
minutes.
てギミックが、重
Yeah,
視され
Aquatic
た
Base is just
ストーリーとなってい
hilariously
るみ
broken.
たいで
In
す。
Silver Story, you flip through
逆
the,
に
like
ソ
a
ニッ
wall
クは
right
スピード
behind you at
重
the
視で、
very
シャド
beginning
ウ
and
は
just fly
敵
to
が
the
ちょっ
end
と
of the
他
section.
より多
In
め
Sonic
らし
Story,
いです
you
ね。
do actually have to play video games. I know it's a bit disappointing. But still, you clip in Shadow section, you skip a very annoying ball puzzle. Well, I say it's a puzzle. You're bouncing on some giant magnetic ball. You skip
う
playing
ん
as
この
Tails.
タイトルでは、
Shadow,
ポー
of
ズ
course,
メ
we
ニ
do what we
ューが
just
出た
saw.
ら壁抜けをし
Now,
ま
we
すと
have
いう意
the
味だと思
second and again last appearance of the motorbike.
まず
right
間
through
違い
this
なさ
door.
そ
Each
う
door
です
clip's a
ね。
bit different. Every copy of door clips are personalized. Now, the motorcycle is regarded as very, very finicky to control, and that's fair, because again, it was never explained how to do so. Instead of holding left and right, or up, left, and upright, you need to just periodically tap left and right to kind of guide the bike. If you do anything else, you're going to spin out. It is going to be a horrible experience. But if you just gently tap, it's not too bad.
And it is not explained in the game that this is the thing, except for in one location which almost no one has checked, which is the manual. And the reason I know you haven't checked the manual is because it is a thing of beauty. I can trust the manual most of the time, except for when it tells me to exist the game by quitting.
Yeah, the manual is arguably more broken than the actual speedrun. See, it's riddled with typos. It has things like, you did not miss your focus. If you press quit, you will exist the game. there are a few other gems. You have any on hands?
Oh gosh, Shadow is an agent for the capital F federal, capital G government. It says for Silver to lift up, pick the object, it will take him to higher areas. And it also says the in-game text of this game, which is perhaps my favorite 6 words in a row.
I love the in-game text of this game, don't you all? Alright, speaking of things we love hub world movement and we love load screens. Thankfully, we've got both of those in abundance coming up here. And of course, skipping missions.
Yeah, so when we load back into the present, our goal is to find the Scepter of Darkness. And according to our load screen, we need to collect information on the Scepter of Darkness. This involves talking to an archaeologist who has the secret. Only she knows where the Scepter of Darkness is, but she's currently being attacked by all the Mephiles monsters, so we gotta save her. Except, we're speedrunners, so we already know where the Scepter of Darkness is. We don't gotta go save the archaeologist, we can just go right to the Scepter. So what Gordon's gonna do when this load screen ends is he's going to jump right around to a pole and jump onto a house to skip the loading zone. Normally, if he walked directly forward, he would get taken right into a mission, but he doesn't do that. Jumps around, nice. And then we can go right back to where the Scepter of Darkness is located in the back corner of Soliana. So the Scepter is located in a very unassuming fountain. What we do is we chaos spear the 4 pillars that surround the fountain and it spawns the Scepter. Interestingly enough, if we did go into the mission with the archaeologist and just left her to be attacked by the monsters, went back here and spawned in the Scepter, it would still be there. And collecting it in the mission actually counts. So even if you do the mission, you don't have to do the mission. Also, we'll be quiet and we'll just let this voice line play.
Yes.
The best.
You must head to Wave Ocean immediately, Omega Man.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't hear that or you weren't listening hard enough, that's actually a flubbed voice line that was left in the game. We just had to take a couple of extra seconds to show it off. It's just another one of the classic Sonic 06 lore aspects. Now, consider yourselves educated now. Also, the thing with the Scepter of Darkness is that it only spawns in that spring that you saw Gordon take to Wave Ocean. So even if we never collected the Scepter, we could theoretically skip it. But currently, the way that we do that is much slower than actually getting it, so we get it anyway.
Yeah, and Mission 14 spawns both the mirror and the spring, but you can't go to a stage out of mission. But we can go to donations.
All right, fantastic. We have a couple of people watching the run who have been thrilled with the action-packed event so far. $50 from Sigma Sonic X, saying nothing stops this train except for a hedgehog on a motorcycle. Thank you so much. And K-Turn sends us $25. They say, the only way the roundhouse kick could be better is if Shadow just randomly said action movie catchphrases. Thank you so much. And
Gordon,
how about one more?
Action movie.
Go for it.
All right, we got $50 from Drum Basher 004. So let's go, Gordon. Our boy Shadow on the big stage. Thank you so much.
Let's go. Thank you, everyone, for donating. Great event. All right, speaking of great things, we have a pretty bad thing. We have to play as Omega again, but this time we actually get to control him. Now, fun fact about Sonic 06, who do you think the fastest character is? And Mach Speed Sonic doesn't count. Is it Sonic? Is it Silver? Is it Shadow? No, it's Omega. For whatever reason, they made Omega insanely fast. For reference on how fast he is, well, and also how weird this game can be internally, grinding on rails is generally the fastest, continuous form of movement for any character. With Omega, grinding on rails is literally slower than just running. And remember, in Sonic 06, if you have enough speed, geometry is pretty optional. So what we're going to do is just completely finish the stage right here, clip through all as Omega. Like Liam said earlier, every character got a Amigo stage. Sonic has Tails played through Wave Ocean. Silver has Blaze played through Wave Ocean. Everyone has Rouge played through Tropical Jungle, but basically also has Omega playthrough Wave Ocean.
Very nice
And
clip
there we
out.
go.
That might look easy, and as Gordon mentioned earlier, the
どのキャ
easier
ラク
something
ターで
looks,
も
the
壁を
harder
抜
it
けら
is,
れる
and
って
that
わけ
is
です
essentially
ね。
one of the
ポーズ
hardest
使わ
clips
なく
in
て
the
も
game.
抜けられるところは
Yeah,
抜
that
けら
clip
れます
also
よ。
saves a ton of time, by the way. If you miss that clip
そ
and
う
you hit the
いう
spring,
こ
you
と
get
なんで
loaded
す
in
ね
as。Shadow on the complete other end of Wave Ocean, and you have to take a very long hovercraft ride all the way back here. So that saves an insane amount of time.
I got to experience that in one of my first runs. I was like, I'm going to do box clip, and no, I should not have. Absolutely should not have. But we do it now. Anyways, on to Mission 15. I said that we skip most of the combat in Shadow Story, but Mission 15 is a bit of an exception. And this one is absolutely amazing. It works like a puzzle. So I'm going to get Chaos Snap almost immediately, and we're just going to sprint through the rest of this. Now, there's a lot going on here, but the two things you need to know, if I hit a worm while it's underground, it'll instantly appear. And the second, Chaos Snap isn't buggy. It's just the most convoluted ability I've ever seen in a Sonic game. So let's see. Do that. See, every time I press the A button, Shadow does 3 attacks, depending on the rhythm. Like, I can alter my rhythm bit, and he can do different angles. There's just a lot to go over. I don't want to try to explain it to you.
If you want to, just read Gordon's thesis. It's posted in the 06 server. It is at least 20 pages long. And I'm not joking about that. Gordon has pretty thoroughly researched this exact mechanic.
Gordon has written essays longer than some college students have written.
I was very bored one day and had a lot of anime.
Yeah, for reference, by the way, just with better combat, he lowered this IL world record from 51 down to 46, so it saves 5 seconds just doing interesting movement with Chaos Snap.
Also, fun fact, if you ever want to flex to your friends about your time in Mission 15 and Bad Hedgehog game from 2006, finish the mission and then hold down the start button. As soon as this load screen finishes, you'll do a pause. Save the game. And the next time we load this back up, which we will because I believe glitch exhibition was met, you will immediately talk to Lord Regis, and the game will say, well, you finished the mission, but you also didn't play the mission, so have a time of 0 flat. That also goes for anyone who wants to snipe a pretty fun time on the leaderboards, because I don't think anybody's actually submitted that yet. Intent.
It is illegal to submit that time.
Do not submit that time, obviously. There's a similar mission in Silver's story where if you put 50 apples in a barrel and then die, because that's the only way you can succeed in life, you basically get the game to respawn. It says that, oh, you've hit the condition you need to win. I guess you've done it, and then gives you a time of 16 milliseconds.
The game asks, are you winning, son? All right, we're closing in on the end here. We've got Dusty Desert and oh, sorry, I almost spoiled the final boss. Quick, let me cover that up by focus. How many grains of sand are in Dusty Desert?
There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay,
6,
well,
7,
while focus counts the grains of
8.
sand in this desert, this section, you're supposed to drive this hovercraft through pillars for about a minute around the entire stage, but that's really long and unnecessary, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to drive this hovercraft all the way to the end, and, the hovercraft doesn't allow Shadow to manually get... Oh, that's a death.
The hover vehicle's very weird.
Anyway, so, this section also doesn't allow Shadow to get out of the vehicle by himself. You have to break the vehicle first. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to take him all the way to the end, and for some reason the sand is solid there, so we can stand on it, and we're going to flip the vehicle over. Once the vehicle breaks, Shadow will be able to get out, and you can probably guess what we're going to do after that. We're going to pause flip to this last door, and we're going to get to the section.
Oh, the bird hitting that is actually bad. That resets the timer for the vehicle to explode, but not too bad overall. We got on through 37 seconds. Not too bad. Alright, we have 2 ways to play this next section. We can either finish it as Shadow with some fun movement, or we can play as Omega. So, focus. Pick a number between 4 and 7.
30 million. Wait, no.
What?
I was already
okay, fine. I see how it is. Look,
I'm sorry,
humans can't count.
I checked through both of my geometry textbooks to look for this for you, okay? I can't find how many grains of sand there are in the world.
Both of them you should have checked through 3 at least. Fine, we'll get a robot to do our counting, so it looks like we're playing as Omega. Gosh. No, I promise, Omega's pretty fun. So just pause click through this door, we're ignoring combat, yada yada yada, basic 06 stuff. Shadow homing tag is very long, skip all this. And once we kill this enemy, we're going to get a very fun camera. And back to the robot. Now, like I said, Omega's very fast, Sonic 06 doesn't like speed, so we can just do this. Oh, am I back in bounds? That's unfortunate. Alright, camera's a bit weird there, but basically, I can run at that floor, clip out of bounds, and then just fly my way to the end as Omega, where we have one last little surprise to show off. One last thing, I think you'll all enjoy. But of course, we can probably fit in one more donation while I make my way back to Omega Man.
Now we do have an appropriate one from Kira Kusai with $10. They say, The desert. Count how many sand is there, Amiga. That's your first mission. Thank you so much.
Let's go. Alright, there we go. Sufficient.
Very clean clip.
Sufficient clean. Clean? Sufficient clean? I can speak English.
Sufficient clean.
シャドウとルージュを使ってるときは、ポーズメニューを開いて、カメラ消してるんですけど、どうもオメガは、メニューは開かなくても、ずーっと抜けてる気がするん
You
で
don't
すけ
need
ど。
both, but you know about it now. Alright, so I promise there are kill planes here. Sonic 06 just has two varieties. There's the very good kinds, which are like Flame Core. If you clip out of bounds at all, you pretty much die. And then there's Dusty Desert, where they made the stage and then just put a massive box of kill planes somewhere out in the distance. If we fly long enough, we'll probably hit it. Maybe. I don't know, no guarantees. But the goal ring's right here, so let's just flip back in bounds. And if you're paying attention, we swapped characters. We didn't hit a checkpoint, so we can do something a little bit cool with text box. Just gotta wait for the right time, and...
あー、なるほ
Very
ど。
sense.
キャラクターの大きさの違いっていうのは
Just
あり
kidding,
え
we
そう
skipped
で
the
す
gold
ね。
medals.
Yeah,
Very
those
nice.
unskippable gold
Very
medals.
nice.
Yeah, they are skippable.
Perfect. A scary one.
Yeah, it's useful in the all gold medals categories because it actually, those still collect. Even though they aren't shown on screen, they still register and it saves like a minute in Shadow's all gold medals, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. Speaking of very, very nice, we've recently figured out how this boss works. Isn't that right, Couch?
Yeah, so now we're in the final boss, Mephiles Phase 2, or Mephiles Part 3, I guess. Why not?
The third.
Yeah, the third. In this boss, the entire premise of this first half or portion or whatever is to build up Shadow's meter to activate Chaos Boost or Red Shadow.
だって、
Once we get Chaos
また
Boost,
ボス
Mephiles
戦
will
で
start
すね。
attacking us. So what we do is we actually used Omega's huge hitbox to homing attack off of him to get enough height just to reach those mini shades or goons at the very top. They actually do give us meter, very small amount of it, but you can see that we have a very tiny bit down there. So now we're gonna wait for these bigger absolute units to show up. These give a significant amount more than the mini shades do. So we're gonna hit them in specific ways so that we can skip certain attacks that allow us to get meter faster. And for this next cycle, they're gonna spawn in a certain pattern of 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna go ahead and hit them in a different pattern of 1, 3, 2, because the second one will attack faster, and we want to be able to get meter as fast as possible. This should be enough to get Red Shadow if you don't mess anything up.
It's a bit tight, so I'm going to take the last one.
All right. So
Yeah.
right here, he's going to activate Red Shadow right after he gets these little bits, and we want to hit Mephiles in a certain way to where we can skip his clone cycles. So here, we want to get him to about 50 HP.
なるほど。なん
Time's
か
coming up, by the way.
たくさ
Yeah,
ん
that-
出てきた
that's
デ
good.
カ
All right,
ブ
now
ツ
we
を
want to get him to
倒
3
すこと
HP.
で本体が出てきて
This skips
こう
very
殴って
many clone cycles
ダメージを
that
与える
take a lot of time.
It's one out.
と
I think
いう
it is
感
by
じ
one.
みたい
Yeah.
That's all right.
ですね。
After this last hit, time will be up.
So, time.
It's looking like
We
a
did.
50 something.
Nice.
All right. Not too
Very
bad. Not
nice.
too bad.
タイマーストッ
You
プ
hit
という
all
こと
the
で
tricks.
GG
Showed
We
off
did.
all the
Gordon,
tricks.
that was fantastic, and I am so proud of you. This, for reference,
あ
everyone
れ
who
がラ
who
スボ
didn't
ス戦
see
だ
the
ったみ
interview,
たいですね。
Gordon has only been running for 8 months.
50分
I've
26
been
秒
here for
6
8
という
years,
こ
and
と
I have
で
not seen the stuff that Gordon has found. So
Stop.
everyone, please give a lovely round of applause for Gordon. Thank you so much.
Nice job.
All right.
That was a
and thank you all for
fantastic run,
commentating.
Gordon.
Now, I believe the glitch exhibition was hit. Is that right?
Yes, Gordon, that incentive was met,
というわ
and that
け
was an
で、シャ
incredible
ド
run.
ウス
Thank
ト
you
ー
so
リー
much.
の方は
But、everybody,
これでクリアと
the
なりま
stream
し
will
た。
be going down for just a moment while they do some tech maintenance over at the GDQ Nerve Center. The glitch exhibition will occur once we are back, so please don't panic. We will be back very shortly.
はい。というわけで画面が切り替わりまして、ソニック・ザ・ヘッジホッグ2006、シャドウストーリーの MSG でした。おそらくビットの 方はですね、2つあったと言ったんですけれども、グリッチの方は、また別に、ジャンプ、途中で、多重ジャンプを使ったものがあったと思うんですけど、あれだったのかな。それで、ハリネズミがハリネズミの頭を蹴るシーンっていうのが、自社ポスターが出てきあのシーンだったのかなというふうに思います。GGQ の方の配信はここでリセットされまし、リセットされます。私しばらくすれば GGQ はまた、配信を始めて次の、ゲームが始まるでしょう。バグはこの後で見せてくれるのかなちょっと。この後見せてくれるはずですかね。待ってみましょう。奏者の方は結局、ポスターを見せたら、その後自分の顔にピントが合わなくなってたんですけど、あれはどうなってしまうのかな。今待ち時間という感じなんですけれども、この後のことをちょっとお話ししますと、ソニック・ザ・ヘッジホッグ2006の、グリッチの大展示会が、ビトのおかげで行われた後は、ソニックゾーンが、いよいよ終了して、次のゲームの方へ進んでいきます。今画面の方でですね、ボーナスゲーム1が見えてるかと思いますが、そのボーナスゲーム1、ザ・エルダースクロール5スカイリムはすでに目標金額達成されておりますので、行われることが決定しております。そちらのビトーの方ね、経過をお楽しみいただけるといいかなというふうに思います。AGDQ2021 のスケジュールがちょっと変更されましたので、そちらをお伝えさせていただきたいと思います。現在1月10日の0時23分から、行われる予定となっております悪魔城伝説の方はカテゴリーが、ビットにより寄付額が多い方が披露されることとなりました。ぜひそちらの方もお楽しみにということで。 ね、そろそろ、日が昇ってくるという感じの時間帯ですので、深夜から見ていただいている皆様はそろそろ寝るんじゃないかというふうにも思っておりますけれども、ね、1週間にも及ぶ長期イベントですので、自分の見たいところは見つつも、寝るところは、しっかり寝ていただけるといいかなというふうに思います。現在、そうですね、GDQ の方、本家配信の方が配信リセット中ということですので、しばらくお待ちいただければなというふうに思います。そうです。寝るときは寝るし、休憩するときは休憩するのが一番いいと思います。はい、ダークサイダーズの解説の方ですね。ダークサイダーズの解説の方は、よいしょ、よいしょ。ダークサイダーズの解説の方、現在いらっしゃいませんね。もし来ていただけたり、あるいは解説、をチャットの方でしていただけたりという感じですと非常に助かりますので、ご検討のほどよろしくお願いいたします。はい、本当にくれぐれもね、健康の方には、あの、大事にしていただけるといいなというふうに思います。プリベントキャンサーファウンデーションという、がんの早期治療と早期発見、早期治療のための、そして早期予防か、のための医療機関の一つに寄付金が行くということで、医療機関に行くのでね、本当に、そういう面でも体の方は無理しないでいただければなというふうに思います。やっぱりイベントはね、楽しく見るのが一番で、そのためにも健康は大事だと思いますので、ね、何卒、何卒。 健康のために、睡眠を取るのもそうですし、運動とかね、そういうところもしていただければなと思います。はい。ディスコードの呼びかけ。そうですね、応募フォームから、申し込んでいただけるといいかなというふうに思います。今、そうですね、スタッフの方が、そちらで回答させていただきますので、そちらの方を読んで、対応に従っていただければなと思います。回の GDQ の中で運動できそうなタイトル。どれだろう。1月10日にですね、ビートセイバーというタイトルありますが、そちらで、おそらく奏者の方と一緒に腕振っていただければ運動になるかなと思うのですが、最終日ですのでね、そこに行くまでに自分で運動していただければいいかなと思います。やっぱり座りっぱなしとか、同じ姿勢で、居続けるのは体に良くないので。はい、現在の状況ですね。現在の状況は、一度 AGDQ の方の、配信が、止まってるというとあれなんですけど、リセットされているとでも言いましょうかね。何か問題が起きているわけではないですので、今こうしてじーっと待機している感じです。次はですね、ソニック・ザ・ヘッジホッグ2006の、グリッチ展覧会みたいなものが行われる予定となっております。そうですね、リフレッシュタイムという感じですので、ぜひ視聴者の皆さんもね、この時間を使って休憩していただければなと思います。DDR2 面プレイはおそらくセレステかなの、ものだったかと思います。こちらのチャンネルの方にアーカイブが、ダイジェストかなとして残っているかなと思いますので、お探しいただければなと思います。あ、パンプイットアップですか。そうでした、そうでした。パンプイットアップの方かな。ね、あの2つは似ているけど、かなり違うゲームなので、 まあ、そうですね。足を使ってみんなゲームしたくなるのは、普段、手でコントローラーを持って操作しているからこそだと思いますね。足でやると、やっぱり全然操作感が違うんでしょうね。まあ、足に限らず、いろいろな専用コントローラーっていうのがあると思いますけれども、そういうので全く違うゲームをやるっていうのは、プレイ感覚が全然違ってくるのだなというふうに思いますね。今回の AGDQ ではそういうタイトルは、なかったかと思いますが、過去の、こちらのリストリームの方のチャンネルでは、いくつかそういったものもミラー配信させていただいたことがありますので、ぜひ探してみてくださいね。そうですね。今年はそのくらいかなと思います。とはいえ、ビット王でいきなりとんでもないものが出てくる可能性もありますので、よく、ご注目いただければなと思います。 まだね、配信の方再開されないみたいですので、ここで AGDQ2021、現在のイベントですね、の方で、走られる予定の日本人走者さんを、ちょこっと紹介させていただきたいなというふうに思いますが、ちょっとそれは一回ストップしますね。なるほど。そうですね、スペインのリストリームの方からですかね。これについては、また後で説明させていただきますね。そうですね。じゃあそろそろ説明させていただこうかなと思います。現在、レイドというものが、来ました。スペイン語の発言をね、複数の人がバーっと、送信されていたなというのが分かったかと思うんですけれども、そちらがレイドとなっております。他のリストリームの、チャンネルからですね、挨拶のようなものが届くんですけれども、そちらがレイドになっております。レイドが来たら、その国の言語でお礼挨拶ができるといいですね、ということで、グラシア。レイドが来ましたのでね、後でです。今ではなくて、後で、レイド返しを、送られてきたチャンネルの方にね、させていただきたいと思っております。そちらの方はですね、また、こちら側の運営側で、こういう文面で、ここに、この時に、レイドを返しますよということを言わせていただきますので、よろしくお願いいたします。本気復活ですか？ちょっとお待ちくださいね。
And fast glitches that make it into the run. But this game has
来
so
ました
much
ね。
more to offer.
はい、
It really is
そ
the
れで
game,
は、
the gift
ソ
that
ニ
keeps on
ック・ザ・ヘ
giving.
ッジホッグ
So
2006
there
が
are a lot
現
of
在
glitches
行われ
that
てお
you
りま
just
し
don't
て、
get to see in those Funny Sonic 06 top 10
放
glitch
送の方はですね、
highlight
もう終わっ
montage
てい
reel
るんですけれども、
things.
これからは、
Those are typically
ビ
just,
ッ
hey, look,
ト
Sonic can
の方
stand
で
on top of
行われ
loops.
ること
Isn't
が
that a
決定
fun
しま
perk?
したグリッ
There's so
チ
much
エキ
more
シ
that
ビシ
this
ョ
game
ン
has to offer,
が、
so let me show
今
you
行われてい
some
ま
of
す
the
ね。
true
はい。
glitch in Sonic 06.
Yeah, we in preparing for this glitch exhibition, we tried to decide whether or not to take a bunch of tricks that everyone's seen and they're very flashy and they're very quick to set up, or to go for the really obscure tricks that we know are nowhere on the internet and are only in our community and show them off. So some of the setups are going to be a little bit longer than you might be used to in a traditional glitch exhibition, but trust me, the payoff is going to be worth it. If you think you know how broken Sonic 06 is, you have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so first off, here's how rings are coded in Sonic 06. Every single ring has a path to either let you light dash on it or prevent it. I've got to set that back up. So that means sometimes you can't light dash on rings you think you can, sometimes that means you can light dash on rings that you really have no right to. And generally it works okay, it's just like, hey, travel in this direction and at this speed, all that good stuff. But
まあ、こ
sometimes
こからはグ
things
リッチ
go
エ
through
キ
the
シビショ
cracks.
ン、日本語で言うとバグの大展覧会みたいな感じですかね、が行われますので、ここからやることは全部悪いことでございます。ネットに出回ったやつもやってくれる。あー、それはすごいですね。
Not quite. I'll give it a quick restart. So basically what I'm trying to do is flip the hover vehicle over so that I can get to those rings. From there, I'm going to do a little light dash, but things are going to go maybe not how you would expect. Let's see. That should be a decent lineup. Let's angle ourselves, get the boost. And survey says. Okay, there we go. There's the flip. And it's real! Let's go.
Nice,
I forget
nice.
if we mentioned it,
Very
but
nice.
sometimes the vehicle can glitch and think you're still in the air when you're flipped over, and it'll never destroy. So anyways, let's get over here. Light dash in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the end of Sonic section.
Yeah, this is
Oh
beautiful.
man, I love this.
This is, we don't know why this hasn't been shown off more. Maybe because it's just really obscure. You have to get out of the hovercraft and get there. But yeah, our theory behind this is that we think that the devs kind of copy pasted the last ring trail from the Sonic section over here, and they never thought that you would light dash on it because you usually collect those rings with the hovercraft. So yeah, that's like the only ring trail. I think it's one of only 2 ring trails that does that in the whole game. Yeah. After finding this, Gordon checked every single ring trail in the game, hoping that we had something else. But
and the only ring trail he didn't
まあ、こういう
find
感じで
was
です
one
ね、
that I found
ず
while
っ
messing
と
with Algorithm
バ
stuff,
グ
and
が
Gordon
披露
felt
さ
like he
れ
was
ていきます。
betrayed by some sort of deity after looking through every single ring.
I only check them on normal mode, so we might have a stream of me going through them on hard and very hard, because those are different. Anyways, you may have noticed throughout the story, we can't freely move between the hubs, but we know from looking in the files, there were a lot more hub world instances planned, like the story was going to be way longer. Usually the load zones were removed, but in a few cases, you can still access them. We're not going to load average, everyday, normal New City here. We're going to load advanced New City. This is the point in the story right after Mission 15, by the way. Then once this finishes, we get some cars. Suddenly the Speed 60 signs make a lot more sense. So these cars are very poorly programmed. There's a reason they're not in the final product. They'll crash into each other, they'll crash into people, and if we wait long enough, they'll have a massive pileup, then just Havoc will do its thing and launch them into the sky. It's glorious, but sadly we don't have enough time to show it off. If we get over here, we find Crisis City and Flame Core mirrors. These are never used because you always access these 2 stages through story events, but for some reason they're just vibing here in New City. And if we go over here, we hit a mysterious load zone.
What? There's a load zone in the unused hub world?
There's blank?
So, Sonic 06 has something like 50 unused missions still on the disc. Most of them you can access through hacking, and they're in various states of completion. Some of them work, some of them don't. This one is just freely accessible and only glitches required. And it's complete. I mean, it's a combat mission. We could play it all the way through to the end. There's dialogue at the start, there's dialogue at the finish, there's a save, well, you can save the game, it gives you rings. Also, all sorts of good stuff.
Yeah, so this mission, so normally Shadow only has 15 town missions. This mission, actually, we nicknamed Mission 16. So you can completely complete it. We have leaderboards for it on speedrun.com. Also, the rest of the unused missions are really incredible. Gordon's loading up multiplayer, so I'm going to talk about the other unused missions really quick. One of them, Sonic plays soccer, he kicks a ball around. One of them, Silver, like, has to navigate via the sound of heartbeat and looks into people's memories. And then one has Shadow stop a bank robbery and the people are running away and they have health bars and Shadow Chaos attacks them and their death lingers on his soul for the rest of years and years later and he has to go to therapy. No, that's not
Which
part
is
of the
why
mission,
he
but
builds a statue. They decide, hey, have a statue for defeating these bank robbers.
Yeah.
Also,
There's a lot
another
of-
one of Silver's, I want to mention really importantly, has Lord Regis in a cage.
It does.
ソニッ
The
クと
unused
シル
missions
バ
are
ーです
really
ね。
something special. And speaking of something special, we have multiplayer. Again, from checking through the files, we know they had so much planned for this mode, including online stuff. It really looked like actually fun. What we got, this being a rush game, was, well, it's still special to me. So, we've chosen Sonic, we've chosen Silver. Sonic has gems, Silver
こ
has
のゲー
psychokinesis.
ム
You
自体は
might
ですね、マ
have a
ルチ
guess
プ
of
レ
where
イヤー
this
モー
is
ドという
going.
も
It's
の
gonna
が
get real fun
あ
real
りまし
fast.
て、
So first off, I
先ほ
need
どまで
to
やられ
steal
てい
these
た
rings
も
so
の
that
ストー
Silver
リーは
doesn't get
一
any.
人プレイ専用なんですけれど
Kill all
も、
of these
二
robots.
人プレイ用のモード
Grab
がありま
checkpoint
すよ
and
という
then
こ
kill
とで、
both characters
現
so
在
that
行わ
they
れている
respawn
の
at
は
the
二
same
人
point.
プレイ用の
Let's
モード
just
で
add
す
a quick
ね。
spin dash, then kick. There we go.
で、
Silver's
タ
dead.
ッグとバトルがあって、
No.
今回選ばれているの
No,
は、
Silver.
あ
What
バト
happened?
ルか。バトルとなっています。
Silver dies. Don't worry about it. Alright, now when Sonic dies and respawns at the same point, I'm gonna grab him with Silver, and you might notice he's kind of small. And if I spin dash, you might notice he's kind of wide
Hey.
and flat.
Oh, I love this trick so
グラ
much.
フィックが
Everything Sonic does
You
at the
can-
current moment is wide. Look at the green gem. Look at everything. It unfortunately gets ridden over if you walk at all. Kind of, even if you try to do like M speed position, you cannot move the control stick at all. But before
何かが
then,
起
you
こ
have
ってい
flat
ますね。
Sonic, which is kind of fun.
And this is Red Gem. See, Red Gem slows down everything by 2, except for Sonic, and then tries to multiply
そうですね。
everything
なん
by 2,
か
except Sonic, to fix it. If you die
ぐちゃ
while
っと
Red Gem
して
is
る。
held in multiplayer, for some reason, everything gets sped up, and if we grab speed shoes, we're going so fast that we can just kinda, you know, fly through whatever we want.
It's so
By
good.
the way, this version of Sonic is like borderline uncontrollable.
Yeah,
Oh,
people
oh,
say
it's
Six has bad
ridiculous.
controls. This is
ポイ
bad
ントに、リ
controls.
スポーンで重なっ
And
て、
that's Sonic 06, everyone.
掴んで、
Thank you all for watching.
なんかいろいろ
Quick plugs or shoutouts.
あーっ
I
とする
am
と
Gordon Ramsay. I stream on twitch.tv/Gordon
な
Ramsay.
るほど。
Gordon spelled with nigh because
なるほどって
I
言って
don't
る
know,
けど、
some fraud took
ど
the
こが
actual
なるほどな
spelling,
のか
I
は
guess. I stream this game, Project 06, and I'm
何
learning
かが起
Sonic
こってい
Unleashed
るのだ
and
な。
apparently Sonic Shuffle because I lost a
Yes.
bet.
You lost a bet to me. Do not bet
Yeah.
against Sonic Shuffle. Or do
I
not
bet
bet
it
for
would
Sonic
get
Shuffle.
into that. I bet it would get into the event. It did not. If the couch wants to do it as well.
Sure. I just want to say, everyone, Gordon, thank you so much for that. That was incredible, an amazing way to end the Sonic block, and we are really thankful for how amazing of a glitch hunter you've been for our community. If you are curious to see what the rest of Sonic 06 looks like, what we found in 2020, I do pretty much every category. So if you'd like to follow me, I am on twitch.tv/focus site, spelled as you'd
hello.
expect. I'm also happy to help people learn pretty much any category, but I specialize in silver. Speaking of silver, I want to congrat Nick on his BB and silver story you got yesterday. Good job.
Thanks. Telethor made it so much better. But yeah, so I also run all 3 hedgehogs, not every category, but all 3 hedgehogs. But I specialize in Sonic. Sonic's kind of like my main one. So if you want to learn Sonic, you can always just come to me and ask me stuff. You can always join the server, or you could follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Nick_867.
And by the way, if you ever, good job petting the cat. I would have told you to do it otherwise, but yes, he listened to chat and pet the cat. Yes, if you want to learn this game, and if you think all of the glitches have already been found, you're sorely mistaken. There is plenty more things to be found. Please join the Sonic 06 speedrunning Discord. You can go to speedrun.com/Sonic06, and then go to the left bar where you see Discord, click on that, and that's the invite link. We would love to have you. We love new people.
Yeah, that's all for me.
Thank you so much, GDQ. We're very happy
Yes,
to
thank
be
you,
here.
GDQ.
See you all in the future.
はい。というわけで、ソニック・ザ・ヘッジホッグ2006のグリッチエキシビションでした。猫にサングラスをかける。そんな感じかな。
Yeah, thank you
という
so
わけで、
much
こ
one
れ
more
で
time,
ソニック・
Gordon
ザ・ヘッジホッ
Ramsay,
グ
for that
2006
incredibly
は
highly technical,
全
highly
部
explainable
終わりましたね。
The Hedgehog
ああ、
06
そうですね。
Shadowrun.
目
And
隠し
thank you again
っぽかった
for
ですね。
Focus Site
一
for Nick, the
体
Triple Agent,
何
for
を
that very
しよう
informative
としていた
commentary.
の
That was a fantastic time and a great way to cap off the AGDQ 2021 Sonic block.
というわけでですね、ここでタイトルが変わりまして、司会進行の方も、交代となります。ここまでありがとうございました。GDQ2021 まだまだ、続いております。ぜひ、お楽しみください。ここまでの司会進行は私、平良木でした。ありがとうございました。
But seeing the work celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay has done on Shadow Story is incredible. Truly a sight to behold. Thank you so much, Mongo_ebooks. All right, it's time for a quick Twitch ad. So I'll be catching y'all in just a little bit. Do not touch that tab, AGDQ. We'll be right back.